Hi, I'm Tash.
And hi, I'm Nix.
And welcome back to the podcast.
Hey.
How was your week, Nicole?
Oh, God. I'm honestly happy the week is over. It was a rough week, honestly. I'm over it.
I would pretend like the week was rough, but it was actually pretty good since I got a new job.
That's why. Yeah. Actually, I like my job. Tash and I actually met at a job together. She still works there. I work at another company. I got let go.
We won't mention the company's name. No. But just know we worked at a company together.
Correct. And it was pretty cool, like, meeting her. She was super rude. Like, she was like talking about my phone. I used to have an old phone, and she's like, "Is that a pager?" I was like, I like her. But yeah, the job is cool. It's just everything right now. It's just a lot, and so I'm happy the week is over.
One of the best things that happened this week, though, Nicole. The Fresh Prince reunion.
Oh, yeah. That was
so good.
You wrote me, you're like, I'm in shambles. I was like, I forgot to tell you, I cried. I was literally in tears.
That Uncle Phil part, y'all. I was like literally in tears. That was so sad. Yeah. It was good though.
I liked how they had like his voice over like the scenes, and it was just like, and then just to hear about like all the things that he did and how he really was like so helpful to the cast.
Mm-hmm.
Man, and everyone was crying. I was like, yo, I'm done. Like, it was rough.
Nicole, when they brought the original Aunt Viv, that conversation with her and Will was so awkward. I felt like I was like in the room with them.
You know what's weird about it? She kind of kept like, kind of over talking him in a way, I guess, you know what I mean? And I was just kind of like, it was awkward.
Girl, she was still pissed off.
She was. But I mean, I'm glad they reconciled overall, but still, like, it was hard to watch, like, because I think everyone grew up loving original Aunt Viv, you know, and then when they just brought in light skin Aunt Viv, everyone was like, what in the hell, you know?
Right.
And we were young then, and I didn't even know what happened. I just knew that she wasn't there anymore. So hearing about it in adulthood, it's like, oh man, it sucks for her. Like, but in general, it sucks.
Yeah, it was a really good reunion altogether. Really, everybody still looked great. Will Smith's still fine as hell.
Okay. I remember I used to love seeing Ashley Banks. Like, the reason why I loved her is because to me she represented like what my family looks like. You know what I mean? Like, I just loved seeing that on television, and I loved her.
Yeah, she hasn't aged at all.
No, she's so pretty still. And Karen Parsons. Like, I said Ashley Banks like her name's not Tatiana Ali. But another real stupid thing that's going on right now is Trump not admitting defeat. Like, what is up with
He's not leaving the office. I don't know if there's going to be an inauguration day. Like, he's not leaving the office.
I feel like there's going to be an issue when they're trying to leave office. Like, I feel like they're going to have to like send people in to remove him. Like,
everybody's left but him. Melania's even gone at this point. Like, his whole administration has left the building, and he's like,
did he like fire like somebody else too who was like, there's no voter fraud? He's like, you're fired. Like, what? How is he able to do that? Like,
imagine working for Trump and disagreeing with him. Like, you're fired, like, immediately.
Like, wait, what? That's not how this works. I hope can you sue him? Like, I wonder how that would work for him.
I would hope so,
because he needs to be sued.
Yeah, you probably can. He's suing for everything else under the sun. So
it's so bizarre. Like, it's the most bizarre thing ever. Like, I can't even wrap my mind around it.
It's in line with this year. Bizarre.
So it makes sense, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think next year is going to be better? Like, I mean,
I'm just going to say yes. I want to speak it into existence, but I'm hesitant to be excited because I was excited about 2020 and we see how that turned out.
Yeah, it was pretty trash.
Yeah. So I guess today we're talking about our deal breakers?
Yeah, it's a good topic to kind of go into because dating is still rough, and going into 2021 definitely needs some expectations, and they shouldn't change regardless of what the year is. So let's go into some deal breakers. What are yours?
So I guess my first deal breaker would be like when you have different religious views with somebody. That's really big. I used to think it wasn't until I dated somebody that had way different religious views than me, so it didn't work out.
What do you mean?
So he was like an atheist, I guess you'd call him. Okay. I identify as being like a Christian. Not a perfect Christian, but a Christian. I don't expect like somebody to go to church every Sunday. I definitely don't.
Yeah.
I don't remember the last time I went to church, to be honest with you, but
same.
We just have very different views. And when it comes to that, like, especially like if you want to raise children one day, do that with somebody, like that can be a really big issue down the line.
That's true. I don't think I've ever had an issue with religious beliefs. I think like you, I immediately, if they tell me like they don't really believe in God, I'm like, oh, okay, have a good one. Like I know my deal breaker, one of my deal breakers is, someone who has anger issues. I just cannot like deal with that. Like, and you'll see that it's a red flag. It leads up to other things. If you see someone who's already really quick to react to something in an angry way, you might as well just let that go, because it's not going to get any better down the line. So, yeah, that's one of my deal breakers. So,
yeah, anger issues are not.
It's a no for me.
A good thing.
I don't know why some people think like a man showing passion in that type of way is like sexy. I don't want anyone who makes me fear for my life. Like, I'm good.
I feel like when I was like 16 and a guy like he got a little like angry over something that I did that was like petty, I was like, ooh, like he really likes me. Now I'm like,
you're like
restraining order.
Exactly.
Police.
Hello, Siri. Call 911.
Siri, call 911.
Please. Yeah. What's another deal breaker for you?
I can't date anybody that like never wants kids. Like we talk about this all the time. I want to be a mom. So
she wants to be a mom.
I want to be a mom if I have kids like Nicole's. They're respectful. They're good.
Aww.
Other people's kids are bad as hell. Like I have some friends that have like horrible kids. They probably watching this. Yes, I'm talking about you, girl. Your kids are bad.
People know when their kids are bad. Yeah. Like my kids, I think I love them, and we could talk about this in another episode. I love the way that I try to be in terms of them and making their own decisions, kind of going through their own emotions. But when your kid is bad. Like
your kids. I remember I was in your car and one of them was like, I think it was your son. He was like, yes, ma'am, and I was like, kids still do that these days?
I think for them, like, and I don't even enforce it. It's just like there's a respect thing. Like no matter what, you should be respectful, because if someone's respectful to you, you be respectful to them. Like it's pretty much. I respect them as well, though.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No, you're blessed, because kids these days are literally like, shut the fuck up, mom. Like,
oh, okay. Like, I'm gonna wind.
And the mom really just be shutting the fuck up. I'm like, these new parents are different, because I would have never.
My kids are not allowed. Like I tell my kids, like, do I treat you this way? You're not allowed to treat me that way either. So it's both ways. I really do try to raise them to be respectful, and very different than the way I was raised, because I was born in a Caribbean house and my parents would punch me for less. Okay, like, are you whistling? Like what?
Are you whistling,
girl? Something's wrong with them people. Like for real.
What's another deal breaker for you?
For me, kind of goes with anger issues, but like control issues. Like there are people who have literal like, oh Nicole, I don't want like oh, don't pour it like that. Like if that was me, I'm like, wait, what? Exactly. You see? So if you were like what? But exactly, like there are men like that. Like I've been on a whole date where a guy was just like ordered for me. Like immediately, our first date, he like grabs my hand to lead me through the restaurant, and I was like, oh okay, you know what I mean? I was trying to go with it, but he had control issues, so nah, deal breaker. What's another one for you?
Not a good one. I like to have fun. Like, I like to travel. I like to go out and do things. So I don't like a guy that's just like, I just want to chill like every weekend, Netflix and chill. Like, no. Like,
are you tired? Like,
right?
what is wrong with you?
Are you 50? Like, I like to do things.
And
have
even
new
at 50, like, come on, bro.
Yeah.
Like, no.
It's not even like going to the club. Like, let's go take a walk somewhere.
Do something.
Let's go to a museum.
Yeah.
Something.
And we're not just talking about COVID, because the guys are like this before COVID. Yeah. Like there is no excuse. Like now, I mean, I guess you would have to be a little bit more creative in dating, but there's no excuse. Like, let's go do something.
Yeah. No, my ex was like that. We would never do anything like on the weekends or in our free time. It was always like, oh, let's just chill, come over.
Was he broke? Girl.
Yeah.
Not to talk about broke people, because we are the type that like we're understanding to a certain extent, but like even if you're broke, we could still like get out of the house. Like, come on.
Yeah. And don't watch this like, oh, she a gold digger. Like, no, like,
never.
There's so many things you can do that are like cheap and stuff.
Correct.
And I mean, if I have a job and I'm able to do things, I want somebody to be able to keep up with me. There's nothing wrong with that.
There is nothing. That's an expectation. I mean, and to me, I feel like if you're with somebody and they should be able to match your level of anything. You know what I mean? Like, again, I think we, especially Black women in our age range, actually Tash is, she's my child, she's my daughter. she's younger than me, and I feel like regardless from her age to mine, I just feel like it's the same issues that we deal with, and it's frustrating no matter what. We're both still millennials, but it's just, I just expect you to kind of at least be with me. We have to be somewhere right here, Yeah. So, and let's like elevate each other to the levels we want to be at, because I can't be with that. Like one of my deal breakers too is like someone who's not passionate. Like I can't. This kind of goes with yours. Like I cannot be with someone who just does not have any passion for anything. Well, I just like what I'm doing. And then that's it. They don't want to like move forward. Say if they didn't complete their education, but they have no desire to complete it, and that's okay. But like, so you just want to stay doing this for the rest of your life. There's no forward movement, and like, like you should be thinking more. Thinking ahead of the situation. So I can't deal with someone who doesn't have passion about just something. Yeah. Maybe not like your rap career, Yeah. Maybe not that, but like, I mean, if you're passionate, cool, but like, let that be your second job because we can't.
I mean, if you must like be that guy that like wants to be a rapper, like you have to have plan A, B, C, D, point 1, point 2, point 3. Like that can't just be the only thing that you're striving to be.
True.
You got to have a backup plan.
Because we will be in the crowd like hyping you up, but at the same
Even
time,
if you're trash, I'll be in the crowd like
exactly.
I might not say that's my baby up
exactly.
there if you're trash, but I'm gonna be down there supporting. Maybe help you work on a bar or two. After.
Exactly. You need to do the ad libs. You know what I'm saying?
I can be up there.
Okay. Do the heel toe.
I can do the heel toe.
She really can though. She was a heel toe queen in middle school, like for real. She was killing them hoes.
Not the heel toe queen.
Oh my God. Do you remember like when people used to break dance for no reason back in the day? Like they would be talking to you and they'd be like, so I was just heading my way to the classroom. I'm like, what? And I'm like, okay. Like, it's weird. Like, why do people do that? Like,
people were, when I think about things back in the day, it was just weird and different.
Was it? But it was lit. Like, we grew up with the internet, like being invented and computers and like, but it was some weird shit going on.
I don't know why I just thought of it as this random, but do you remember when men used to wear like tall tees that go like to their ankles? And that shit was like acceptable. Yeah. Like we were dating men wearing shirts like that.
Yeah, they had them all the way down, and they would wear
like Soulja Boy.
Yes, they would have the sweatband, the matching one. You know what I'm saying? Match their shoes or whatever.
What was that?
Bitch,
I know I wore questionable stuff too. So
FUBU, I had all the anything that was polyester and FUBU. I had that. You know what I'm saying? Hot as hell.
I had that baby fat coat.
Oh my God! Did you? You see that meme that says like, if you wore this coat, you're pregnant now? Like, but did yours have the fur on the back?
It did.
Damn.
Around the hood.
See, but damn. I used to really want one. Mm-hmm. I was like, I got like the knockoff one. Yeah. I think I got it from like Deb. Remember Deb back in the day?
I used to wear like Converse, like skater girl type shoes, and I wasn't even a skater. Like I don't know what I was doing back then.
You love Avril Lavigne, that's why. You like it. You really love it. She's
still on my playlist. Okay, I like
She's on my 90s playlist. Like, there's some good songs from like that punk rock era, you know what I mean, in the 90s. Well, late 90s, early 2000s,
Yeah, she had like that pissed off white girl sound.
She had the raccoon eyes. She was fucking upset. Like,
I'd be like mad at my grandma. I'd be like, listen to it.
You need to calm down.
Like 150, like.
You're never even
going
that
off
thing.
in my head, but
so
I would never
funny.
say anything in person.
I was like that with Lincoln Park. My mom one time, I was like, it was all the way up. I was taking a shower. I was like, I cannot take this anymore. And she's like, Nicole,
you can't take what?
It's what's going on in there? Like, I'm like, I'm just okay, Mom. Like, I was over it. Like, ugh.
Oh my God.
Life was so hard as a teenager. But it was good times.
It was.
Man.
Before
if I
we were wearing masks, before you even had to think about stuff like that.
Man.
I took it for granted.
I think like if we knew then what we would know now, like I would do so many different things. I would have definitely taken more advantage of the internet. back then. I remember people were talking about YouTube all the time, and I was like, I'm not watching that. Like, I don't have time for that, you know? And I didn't have time for it. Like, when I was in college too, like, we didn't even, we barely used the internet. Like, we only used it like if we absolutely had to, but we were still doing like papers and stuff by hand. Like, we'd writing them, but then we would type them up. But I never really used the internet as a source for, like, I don't know about you.
I was definitely typing papers in college, not writing them by hand.
Yeah, in the beginning we were. We would have to like cite our sources, and our teachers would be like, you can only use the internet as one source. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so I remember that, like, and I'm 30. Oh, I'm 36 now. I just turned 36, but yeah, I remember just thinking like how different it is now, and then back then it's just crazy. Like, you can barely not sort or cite the internet. Like,
I'm 29. That's not even like a huge difference in like the years that you go to college. So that big of a difference, like that, even that fast, how fast the internet is like taking over. It's crazy.
And also maybe where you went to school as well, because my first school was in Kansas, like, so so we might be a little bit behind the times.
And then you went to HT for a little bit.
Correct. I went to HT after that as well. Shout out to HT.
I only went 1 year, so shout out to Texas State. That's where I graduated from.
It was like, going to Black college was actually a really awesome experience to me, just based off of like how I grew up culturally. Like, I was really sheltered, and I really only knew about my culture, my parents, and our culture. And then going to Black college was like an eye opener for me. It was like, oh my God, to me it was amazing. It was a great experience for me. A little expensive, like a lot expensive, not a little.
Very expensive. They didn't even have, because I went to HT first and then Texas State, and like they didn't have even a portion of what Texas State offered you, like campus wise, education wise, like it can't even compare.
I didn't even really date either. You couldn't. Everyone dated everyone. Like, I couldn't really even date, like, for real.
I dated like guys off campus that like didn't even go there. I was like,
where'd you meet them at?
The club. I was like 18, and I remember this one guy I was like talking to for a really long time. He was like 25.
Oh, hell no. Was he a baby father?
I was grown. No, he didn't have
Oh, you were grown at 18?
He was an aspiring rapper, though.
Oh, okay. I see you, sis. So you was down with it back then, though. Okay.
Back then, I was 18. Like,
girl, we definitely have to get into the bullshit. Like, I was married for a long time, and technically married, but like with that person for a while. And so I missed out on a lot of like the 20-year-old dating experiences that I had to learn when I was in my 30s.
Yeah.
So I just that's one thing. If I went back in time, I would definitely date more people.
Yeah.
Date more people.
Dating has changed so much. I remember when I was like in college, like at least like my freshman and sophomore year, I would go to like parties or I to like the club or whatever, and men were like always buying drinks.
They really were.
Like,
always.
But like I never paid for anything when I would go places.
See,
I feel like they've gotten smart over the years. So the fact that like you'll take that drink and then like block their number afterwards.
Oh, you would block them after?
Or I give them like a wrong number, and you can't do that now either because they'll call your phone number like right.
They got smart, like within like a year, it's like they caught on. Like, you know what? Wait a minute.
Yeah, they caught on to the BS.
Well, I learned. I used to never ever let anyone buy me drinks ever.
Really?
Never. Yeah, like that was something that people knew about me. I just never used to let anyone buy me a drink. Never.
Why?
I don't know. I used to be terrified of like date rape drugs. Like, I
would watch them buy it. I definitely wouldn't like let them go get it and then bring it to me.
And then I also felt like they would feel like you were obligated at that point to talk to them or to like, like to give them your number. So I was like, you know what, I'll just nip that in the bud. But thankfully now we're old enough to buy our own damn drinks. So like if it's not that big of a deal, we can just get our own, you know. Do you expect a man to buy your friend a drink?
No, I think that's the weirdest shit ever.
It is very weird.
Say that, like, what?
It's nice and it's a nice gesture, but like I've had people do that and be like, "Hey, how about your friend?" I'm like, "Yeah," you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, if you offer, like, okay, I guess, but I definitely don't expect somebody to do that. That's weird.
I don't either. I've heard of women expecting men to buy their friends food, and now I'm not gonna lie. Back in the day, like I only had 2 boyfriends, and I remember. One of them was like so like in his pursuit. That's one thing men used to do. They used to pursue you. Like they actually took the time to date you, get to know you, like get to know the things you like, took you out multiple times before even asking for a kiss. Like they used to really be good at pursuing. And I remember like one of the guy that I ended up dating, he would like buy my friends food. If we went to the movies, he would offer to pay.
Where's he at today?
He's in prison.
Oh, dang.
Shout out to you, BJ.
A lot of the good ones are.
He's a very smart man and everything. He had 2 degrees, but like he chose a different life, and that's his life. But
shout out to him from whatever correctional facility he's currently at.
Cheers to BJ. Cheers to BJ. Sorry, Beach. But it's true.
Yeah.
But I mean, free him. You know what I mean? And I hope he does. He is a good person. Like he's actually a really stand-up guy. But I can say he's one of the best boyfriends I've ever had. Literally, hands down.
If he was doing all that,
he was one of the best boyfriends.
When he gets out,
I
would like a tequila sunrise.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he might do that. He might buy the whole club out. You never know. But he's a good one. Shout out to him. But yeah, I think when I dated him, I'm the one that had control issues. Going back to our deal breakers, I did. I realized that. Like, I was like, damn, Nicole. Like, I was just like, I don't know what I thought. I thought things were supposed to be a certain way, and he was just so carefree and happy, and he'd be like, whatever. Like he didn't care. But like the guy, I dated this guy. I mean, we talked about quarantine dating, and one of the guys that I dated during quarantine had control issues, and it was irritating. Like I remember one time I was coming out the bathroom, and he was like, Nicole, did you leave your tail behind you? And I was like, I don't, like, what is this riddle? Like, what? He's like, the door. I was like, oh my God. Like, you know what I mean? Like, can't you just say
just
that?
Ask me
like,
to close the door.
Yeah, and then like, who cares?
Right.
What? Like, I just feel like people like that have control issues and they don't realize it until like someone leaves their life. Like, I'm not going to be restricted or constricted. I ain't got time.
It's crazy.
I got attitude. Like, I don't do.
Well, is that all we got for them today, Nicole?
I think so. You did a pretty good job.
Right. Well, thank y'all again for watching our podcast. We'll see you next time.
Bye, guys. Every fucking time.